What I have to share with you today is my latest acquisition, which is a Singer 24-7 chain stitch machine. This was Singer's answer to competing with Wilcox and Gibbs and other chain stitch machines that were out there. This particular one, the Dash 7, is an industrial. And that's why you see that I've got a large spool of thread off to the side, and it does not have a spool pin on the machine itself. It's also got a manual tensioner, and it's got a larger foot than what you'd see on a domestic model. It's longer. So this is an industrial version of their chain stitcher. It should have a Singer badge down there that's missing, but for some reason on this industrial they did put the pretty decals, the flowers, and the Singer name. Typically for the industrials they would just have the name Singer on it and not put the pretty decals. Maybe that was something that could be ordered special. This probably was not a domestic used machine. It was probably industrial, used in some kind of clothing manufacturing. And on the back here, this is the back side. Down at the bottom you could see that it's a 24/7 and also decorated with the floral decals. These are pretty small machines. I think they're a little lighter than my Wilcox and Gibb chain stitcher. I'm going to show you how they thread this. Basically you've got your spool holder off to the side. You can use these large spools of thread. There are no bobbins in a chain stitcher. This right here is the first guide for the thread, and it goes in that little hole right there. It's really kind of different, and then it goes down to the tensioner. I'll show you how to thread this. So basically you take your thread and you guide it through this first hole. And I think a lot of the reason it's made this way is because it's a very fast running machine. So there's a lot of control of where the thread's going and what it's doing and keeping it from flying off. So you go down in between those two guide hooks, in between the discs on the tensioner, and that's a manual tensioner. And there's a little peg at the base, and it actually goes down and it goes around. There's a little guide area in there. It goes underneath that and then back up through the discs on the left side and through that second thread guide, thread hook. So it goes from there on over. There's the tensioner to another guide. It snaps in a little pressure pin there into that eye, and then you thread it through the needle bar. There's a hole in the needle bar itself, right up near the top, and it comes out that funny little horn looking thing there. So you go through there with the thread, and basically this needle bar acts like a take-up lever. So as it moves up and down, it functions as a take-up. And then there's one more little pressure. It's kind of there's some pressure discs in there, but it just go on just the left side of that and then down into the needle. So that's how you thread these. I think the domestic models are similar, but the tensioners, there were automatic tensioners on some of these models too. This one happens to be a manual tensioner. So once you've got her threaded, you're all ready to go. So I will do a little sewing with this. Now I have this in my portable treadle cabinet. I've adapted my treadle cabinet to take a number of different types of machine heads and models. And so I'm treadling it right now. Just going kind of easy here. But I'm going to show you how this thing can really move when it goes. It's much faster than my Wilcox and Gibbs chain stitchers that are domestic chainers. Here we're going to try and move her a little faster here. And when this goes, it says in the manual that this goes at 2,000 stitches a minute. And here we go. Very fast. Runs very, very fast. Nice job. When you end a line of stitch on any chain stitcher, any kind, you need need to lock the end of it or it'll unravel, it'll unchain on you. Basically, they're all similar. You pull out a length of thread. This is about 3 or 4 inches of thread, and then I go underneath. I go under the foot, and there's a loop, so you're still hooked on the hook underneath, near on the bottom, and through the needle, of course. So you cut that loop, and then you pull it out through the back, and you can see a little thread tail right there that's going to go on through to the underside of the fabric, and it pops off of the hook underneath, and now you're locked. And that's the way you do all of them, and the other end that you start at starts out locked that way. So that's my 24-7 industrial Singer chainer. Now here, just to compare, I've got my Wilcox & Gibbs chain stitcher in here. This would be a domestic model, and it's down in this portable cabinet too. I've got it so it can go in there too, and I wanted to show you the speed difference between these. Now I'm treadling as fast as I can right here, and it moves plenty fast for a domestic machine, but it's not anywhere as fast as that industrial.